Welcome to ATR Powerslam, Above the Rings exclusive YouTube show, coming to you to provide all your wrestling results for the week ending in July 22nd, 2023, with a 20-minute time limit. Your host, yes, will be Ian Scott. Before we begin, please make sure you subscribe and hit that like button. We're going to kick things off with Scott for Monday Night Raw.
All right, Monday Night Raw. We have only a couple of weeks left until the biggest party of the summer, the SummerSlam. So we got things going in full speed, WWE side of things. So we kicked things off with Cody Rhodes, still looking for his challenger Brock Lesnar to accept his challenge for their third and final match, I hope, at SummerSlam. Brock no showing in the very beginning. But doing those teasers with his theme song coming on, the crowd explodes, Cody's all ready to fight, and then Brock doesn't show. So it's like, all right, what the hell's going on? Mind games. I'm like, Brock's not really known for mind games, but okay, this is what we'll go with it. So Cody then goes to leave. Brock's music hits again, but no Brock shows up. So Cody's like, what the hell? Cody walks in the back, and all of a sudden you hear this big smash, and then a chair comes flying out, and I'm like, oh, there he is. Sure enough, Brock comes out, starts attacking Cody, takes him down to the ringside area, starts beating him up. He actually drops, I believe, he hits him in a Kimura lock with his family, especially his mother, right at ringside. So clearly very personal. And then Brock does accept the challenge. So there's a lot of things going on with possible stipulations for this match, stipulations we haven't seen in WWE for a very long time. So who knows? We'll see what happens. We still got a couple weeks to go. But we kicked off in-ring action with the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, Gunther, taking on and defeating Matt Riddle, then turning around, calling out Drew McIntyre, but Drew doesn't show up, which is very interesting. But obviously those two heading towards a match at SummerSlam, and that's going to be one hell of a banger as well. After that, we have Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn come out arguing with the Judgment Day, agreeing to put their titles on the line as the main event of the show. Speaking of tag team action, we had the Women's Tag Team Championship on the line as Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez took on Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville, with the complaint department getting the victory and are your new Women's Tag Team Champions. Special shout out to Sonya Deville, 8 years with the company, her first title of any kind. You love to see it. After that, we had the Viking Raiders take on and defeat the Alpha Academy in a Vikings rules match. I believe the Viking Raiders aren't defeated in this now. This was a lot of fun. I know gimmick matches sometimes are a little strange, but these two teams, they worked real well together. And I'm actually, as much as I love the Alpha Academy, I'm glad the Viking Raiders got the win here. After that, we had a squash match with Shayna Baszler defeating Nikki Cross. Shayna then calling out Ronda after the match. Ronda coming down, the two getting into it, and obviously a fight. Obviously, another SummerSlam match coming with those two. After that, we had Miz TV with Becky Lynch. And of course, with Becky, you have Trish Stratus and Zoe Stark not far behind. Obviously, those guys getting into a fight. And it looks like Becky and Trish will be fighting at SummerSlam. After that, we had Bronson Reed taking on Shinsuke Nakamura. Bronson actually getting the win via disqualification because Tommaso Ciampa came in and attacked. So people are like, oh, why did Bronson do it? Well, Bronson got paid off last time by The Miz. So clearly this is just Ciampa trying to get revenge. But I do feel bad for Shinsuke because everybody seems to be getting into his business lately. And afterwards, there was an interview where he kind of went off on Byron Saxton for that exact thing. So maybe possible heel turn for Shinsuke coming soon. I would not be opposed to it. I definitely loved his heel work when he was fighting against AJ Styles, minus, the low blows every single week. But that's Vince McMahon written all over it. So hopefully this time it'll be a little different. But your main event, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, putting those undisputed WWE tag team titles on the line against the Judgment Day, and they get the victory. Moving over to NXT, we had Nathan Frazier, Dragon Lee, defeating Los Lotharios. It's nice to see them on NXT, getting some time to shine, and they did really well. However, after this loss, it looks like we might have some problems between the two boys. But I don't know. We'll see. they've done pretty well as a tag team, but by themselves, I don't know. We'll see. After that, we had Kiana James getting a big victory over Gigi Dolan in their ongoing feud. We had Bronco Nima and Lucian Price, which we've seen some vignettes from them as of lately, making their debut. They've wrestled on NXT Level Up. Now they've shown up on the main show, getting a big victory over Scripps and Axiom. After that, Thea Hale continuing her winning ways, getting a big victory, a submission victory, I might add, over Elektra Lopez. Looking towards her, trying to get another shot at Tiffany Stratton for the NXT Women's Championship. We had Ora Mensah of Metaphor getting the big victory over Eddie Thorpe. Metaphor has quickly become one of my favorite factions on NXT to watch. They're just completely over the top, and it's absolutely hilarious, especially what they've been doing with oh my god, of course his name escapes me at this point. Noam Dar, how he's like completely like a vegetable since he's lost the Heritage Cup. So I look forward to see what happens next there. And then your main event for the North American Championship, you have Dirty Dominic Mysterio defeating Wesley thanks to the entire rest of Judgment Day. And Dominic has his first singles title in WWE. He is your new North American champion. So it's enough of me talking. We kick it over to Sam so we can talk about some AEW, ROH, and Impact Wrestling.
Yes, most importantly, we're going to talk about Dynamite. Blood and Guts 3 has come and gone. Over at the Boston Garden. If you were in the New England area, you got lucky. You got to see Survivor Series War Games and Blood and Guts this year. But we're going to hop right over opening match, FTW title match, which I thought was a pretty decent bout. Jack Perry getting the win against Hook, giving Hook his first loss and becoming the new FTW champion. I think Hook might have had it for a record time, so it's cool to see this title go over. Hopefully Hook, they can do something with him outside of this title now, whether it be the TBS title or whatever. Due to Blood and Guts being like an hour long, taking up the second half of the show, didn't have too much more. We had Dr. Britt Baker squash Kayla Sparks in like a minute. This here might have been the best part of the show personally for me. Adam Cole, MJF taking on defeating the Jericho Appreciation Society, Daniel Garcia and Sammy Guevara. We had our little dance off, prior. But Adam Cole and MJF are moving forward. I believe getting that title shot against FTR, which should be a good match. I feel like, without going off on a tangent, Scott, I feel like we could have done a regular podcast on this episode of Dynamite alone.
Oh, absolutely.
But then following, we had the Blood and Guts match, Golden Elite taking on defeating Blackpool Combat Club with Pac and Takeshita, I think, walking out, leaving the BCC to their own devices. So that was Blood and Guts coming and gone. Following that, we had Ring of Honor and Impact the following day. Just to clarify, we will not be talking about Death Before Dishonor results here on the show. But Daniel Garcia defeated Jason Gear in a Pure Rules match. Utami Shishida defeats Trish Adorna. I know Ethan's going to be on my ass about that one. Dalton Castle defeated Shane Taylor for the finals for the TV title number 1 contenders tournament. Josh Woods defeated James Stone in a Pure Rules match. Athena defeated Nikita in a Proving Ground match. The Righteous defeated the Boys. Layla Hirsch defeated Nicole Matthews. And the Kingdom defeated Action Andretti, Darius Martin, the Bollywood Boys, and the Workhorsemen in the Fatal 4-Way tag match. Hopping over to the Impact Zone, we had Sami Callihan and Rich Swann defeat the Good Hands. Jason Hotch and John Schuyler. Jake Sumpton defeat Kevin Knight. Courtney Rush defeated Savannah Evans. Dirty Dango defeated Santino Marella. Can't believe I just said that in a sentence on Impact.
Wow.
And Subculture, Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster defeated ABC, Ace Austin, and Chris Bay to retain the Impact Tag Team titles. So I'm going to tap right back over to Scott to finish up the week for WWE.
All right. So for SmackDown, the women's title picture is getting quite muddy, which is always a fun time, especially when you get towards a big pay-per-view. So Charlotte Flair has thrown her name into the hat, obviously, going after both Asuka and Bianca Belair. There was a women's match that will be happening later on this show, but Charlotte's putting herself in there, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. So, but our opening contest was pretty deadly, taking on, and actually, hold on, I take that back. I was like, wait, I'm like, that's not what happened this past week. So SmackDown results are all screwed up. That's lovely. I love when this happens. Well,
I got the link for you if you want it quickly.
Yes, quick. I love it. This live recording, folks. It's the greatest.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Ah, was the chat feature? There you are. There you go. Boom.
All right. I was reading it. I was like, wait, I'm like, that's not what happened this past week. All right. So for let's see, Friday night. Let's see. Yes. All right. My goodness. All right, let's start this over. So, SmackDown, the second Fatal 4-Way match in the United States Invitational, another Fatal 4-Way. It was Rey Mysterio getting the big victory over Cameron Grimes, LA Knight, and Sheamus. I would say much to the chagrin of the crowd, but the crowd seemed to be okay with Rey Mysterio getting the victory. So, Rey Mysterio now will take on Santos Escobar next week to see who will be the challenger for the U.S. title at SummerSlam against Austin Theory. We had Charlotte Flair defeating Io Sky in a good match. Santos Escobar challenging Austin Theory. Actually, vice versa. Austin challenging Santos because Santos got involved in the Fatal 4-Way as Austin was trying to make sure Rey Mysterio did not win. But Santos got a clean victory over the U.S. champion, which... I don't know how I feel about the champions losing in a non-title match, especially when there's a tournament going on to see who's going to be the next person. So this kind of makes me feel like now Ray's going to win, and then we might get a triple threat at SummerSlam. Okay. We had an impromptu North American title match with Dominic Mysterio being challenged by Butch. We had Shawn Michaels show up and make the match official since the man runs NXT. He almost said Pete Dunne, and I was waiting for it. But it did not happen, but Rey Mysterio getting the victory, of course, because of the Judgment Day. Yeah, it was a real good show. We then, of course, ended things off with the face-to-face between Roman Reigns, Jey Uso. Tribal Warfare is now going to be happening at SummerSlam. It's essentially anything goes match, but Roman took this very, very seriously. Questioning if the elders were aware of it, and they said they were the ones that Jay said they were the ones who suggested it. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. Yeah, our pick show is going to be a lot of fun, especially talking about this match. But that's for August. That's it for WWE. Let me kick it back over to Sam. We'll talk about AEW, and then we'll wrap this up.
Yes, hopping back over to Rampage, we had the Royal Rampage, the big battle royale to determine the TNT #1 contender. That happened to be Darby Allin. So Darby was back in the TNT title picture. We had a 6-man tag match with Billy Gunn and the Acclaimed taking on defeating QTV, Aaron Solo, Johnny TV, and QT Marshall. And I saw something online. I haven't watched it yet. I did see something online about Billy Gunn unlacing his boots and making face-to-face with Darby at one point. I mean, sorry, that's Sting. And then there was a meme I saw saying that looks like Billy Gunn's about to start and end his career with Sting. I guess one of his first matches was with Sting, if not his first. And then, so I don't know. Again, I'm just going off the rails, but that's what I saw on TV. And then we had AEW's TBS title match, Chris Statlander taking out defeating Marina Shafir. Hopping over to everyone's favorite wrestling show on a Saturday night, because Saturday night's all right for fighting. Collision. We had a Bullet Club Gold take on defeat Action Andretti and Darius Martin. I swear I've said these people's name, Andretti's and Martin's name, like crazy in the past couple of. Maybe it's because they're on the pay-per-view as well. They're all over the place, and I'm glad for both of those kids. Miro defeating Nick Comoroto in a squash match. I feel like that could have been a Haas match.
Right.
AEW World Trios title match, House of Black taking on defeating Billy Gunn and the Acclaimed. Wow, I guess they wrestled 2 nights in a row. Or maybe this was on Collision. I don't know. Maybe. But I did see something about, I think there's going to be a ladder match between Malachi Black and Andrade El Idolo. Not sure.
For the
Again,
mask. Okay.
For the mask, yeah. I think it's going to be for the mask on a ladder match, because we need more of those.
Of course.
Kaya Valkyrie, good to see her back on, defeating Sky Blue. And then the main event, Christian Cage and Ricky Starks defeating CM Punk and Darby Allin. So that's it, guys, for wrestling for the week. Please make sure you like, share, subscribe for us on YouTube and all of our other streaming platforms. And as always, do not forget to listen to our Above the Ring podcast. Thank you very much.